Welcome, everyone, to our room today in the Inner Vibers Club. I am here with my sisters, Bianca and Eartha. All three of us are in a group called the Divine Feminine Ascension Council. I had to think for a second. We have a YouTube channel if you want to find us, and we do put all of these beautiful conversations on our YouTube channel as well, but there are also other videos out there. But today we're going to talk about the energy right now, which is typically what we talk about, right? What's going on in the energy. We have just come out of Valentine's Day, and I, for one, am seeing this energy being a lot more powerful than people give it credit for, especially this year. And then we're also going to touch on the full moon that is tomorrow, I believe. I think it's tomorrow at I think it's late morning-ish here in the States, because I want to say it's like 5 p.m. over in Europe-ish, or over in England. So it's an early in the day for us here in the States, but it's a snow moon. It's going to be crazy. And so, yeah, we're just going to talk about what these events, I feel like these events butted right up whenever there are events like this, even though Valentine's Day is people would say marketing holiday or whatever, there is energy to it. There's a worldwide energy to it. They celebrate it in China, for God's sake.
Yeah.
They call it Lover's Day,
Yeah.
and it's for the mistress, not the wife. But because I actually was there on Valentine's Day one year, and people think that we go crazy about it. We got off the airplane and into the airport, and it was full of heart-shaped pink and red and white balloons. Like they were everywhere. So anyway, it's not just America, right? Everybody. So it's a big energy, and then coming right into a full moon. There's big stuff going on. Big stuff. So, so go for it, girl. Let's just get right into it.
And agreed on the Valentine's Day. I think it's a day that we have created that is around love, right? It is a lot around partnerships. So there's some facets to it that I don't particularly like about it. However, it gives
it's a codependent kind of energy,
kind of
right?
like, to me, feels like a little bit of
Are you here, girl?
It's
okay. No.
Yeah, sorry.
You were.
Am I
was,
wrestling?
Yeah.
I'm wrestling. Okay, I'm gonna try to be. I have to be outside in order to get a signal, so it might be if I'm too loud, then let me know, and I'll just mute myself until I need to talk. Okay.
Go ahead, Bianca.
Right. It just the energies around Valentine's Day just felt a little bit like a cushion, right? Cushioning all the other things that have been, going on. It's a bit of it has given it a bit of a softer energy, I want to say, like a little bit of a pillow to kind of, just cuddle, right? A little bit of this cuddling energy. It's not that this is a day for me particularly where any, like solar events or anything like that. It's just something that we have created, and the collective energy. Exactly. And the collective energy, if you tune into it, it just gives everything a little bit of a cushion. So there is nothing like energy coming in. It's just something that we can feel into for a little bit of a breather. And
we need it really bad, right?
I feel that exactly. And we're getting it, we're getting it. Like we talked about end of February, that stuff will start changing. And
I almost feel like Valentine's Day was
I'm already
kind of
feeling
where we kind of opened the door to this little bit lighter energy.
Yeah, and with the full moon as well, it's going to start shifting now. So now actually would be a good time if anyone wants to start kind of like into the new year with any ideas of what they want to change. This would be the time now, because now we're starting into this more fresh, moving energy, and a lot of energy has just, it's like someone opened a bottle, right? A lot of energy has just come out now of the system. At least that's how it feels like. There has been a release over the past couple of days and an ease off.
Agreed.
In terms of the energies, right? So a lot of stuff has just blown out steam, and now like old stuff has been released, and now we're getting a breather, and we're getting some energy to create new stuff.
Right. Yeah.
It's a springtime now.
And with the focus on, I agree. I think Valentine's Day can be focused so much on an external love, right? That it's really about codependence, in my opinion. I've never been a fan. I've never been one to, like my husband has not ever really, we've never really done anything for it because I'm not, I've always thought of it as a marketing holiday. It's kind of like all the grandparents' day and sibling day. It's like, come on. If every day you are not, appreciating these people in your life, then you need to look at that anyway. But yeah, it's something it speaks to kind of the power we have to affect the energy and our path, that we've created this kind of respite no matter what's going on in the world. Oh, Valentine's Day, that's, we don't, you kind of unconsciously focus on the love in your life versus the negative stuff. And so, yeah, it is kind of nice. And then definitely coming into this moon, and think about that too. It's typically called the snow moon, which is interesting. Well, I think it's interesting. I suppose there still is snow in a lot of places in the world. I'm in South Carolina, and there's no snow here, but the snow moon, and you think about snow for me, peace, contentment, a quiet time, right? Coming into just a time of, it's even for me too, and I know we talk about this all the time, but I do still feel like we're in hibernation, and I think that's kind of coming in saying, hey, still just be at rest. Like, don't beat yourself up if you're not doing a whole lot, because you're doing a lot more than you think in your energy field. And so that's what, when I think of the snow moon, I think of, a quiet snowfall. And I think that matches up with all this energy perfectly. We are coming into a time of, it's going to be, I don't want to say it's going to be short, but we're coming into a little bit of a break. I don't know if this is what you're seeing too, ladies. We're coming into a little bit of break. It's not permanent, right? We got to dive back in, but we get a little reprieve right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So things will be easing off, and we'll see a lot of things that we would say kind of positive shifts as well around. Stuff that has been heavy for us is going to start to lift a little bit. And it's just really for us so that we can integrate what we have learned.
Yeah.
Right? We can rest, we can integrate, and we can focus on what is it out of all that we have learned.
Right.
What do we want to take?
Sifting,
what do we want to leave?
Sifting through.
And exactly. Yep. And what do we want to create out of this, right? Where we are now, with a lot of people who have had their beliefs shattered, who are, awakening, who are looking at the world with new eyes, and we're kind of examining what we're going to do with it right now, right? Collectively, there has been a shift in the collective, and we know that, with a lot of people awakening, a lot of them on a subconscious level. It's not yet has hit their conscious awareness. And we're gonna have to kind of integrate all of that before.
And that does require some hibernation sometimes, maybe not 24/7, right? But definitely some times where you have to pull away and integrate, because what's coming next. When we dive back in, we're going to be in an energy of action. And again, I get that this is a Leo moon, and people might say, oh, but Leo, that's masculine, active. Not necessarily. Think about what lions do all day long. They sleep.
Well, and you know what? Like, it's actually, for me, kind of marks a little bit of the change as well. So we will be, with this moon, it's kind of the last remnants a little, I feel, about, hibernation and everything.
Awesome.
And
yeah, like a last stage of it. Yeah.
And it's always, it kind of goes from month to month. So within the next 4 weeks, we will definitely start to come into this Leo active energy.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. So, and then we're going to be asked to, we're going to be kind of hit in the face with opportunities, we'll say, right, to act on what we've integrated, right, to actually put it into practice and to show how we've evolved and show how we've taken in this new energy and shed the old. So we're going to be, after this period, we're going to be different. We're going to be responding differently. We're going to be, it's going to be a new energy. And so, but we still, I agree. I definitely feel like it's kind of the last phase of the hibernation. But I think it's also,
And
it's
it's
a message
line
of
slowly
don't
walking
push.
through.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a slow transition. I'm feeling the same. It's a slow transition. However, with the full moon being in Leo, it's just this reminder of a slow waking up from a slumber,
Yeah,
right? Like
go ahead and
congratulations, just
stretch and
slow
yeah,
kind of
do some
exactly.
yoga.
Yeah, that's what it
Lion's do
is. And we're
yoga
gonna
all day.
come into activity in the next 4 weeks. That's for sure. Up until the
Yeah,
end of March. For sure.
because I'm
Yeah.
really seeing the second half of 2022 being a lot of action, and so
Hmm.
we're being allowed to rest and kind of store up some energy. So, Eartha, what you got, girl? What are you seeing? You have a very different
Um,
perspective.
I'm
That's why I
I'm
love it when you're here.
feeling, yeah, I'm feeling definitely everything that you guys are saying, but I feel like more so what Bianca is saying about like the start of the, like, that this is kind of marking the creative new, and I think that
Oh
we
yeah,
don't feel that as much. Like, we're like, oh, it feels like we're starting something new, but it doesn't really necessarily feel like we're like jumping, into a race or something, because that's not the way that it's going to feel. Because I feel like this is the energy that's calling us to act from our feminine. And so
hmm
when we act from our feminine, right, it's not a race that we start running,
exactly.
or you know, right away start moving kind of thing. It's more of a like, we're going to feel this and this feels good, so we're going to follow that. And then we're going to feel this and this feels good, so we're going to follow that. And I think that's what feels so strange to people, is because it's like, it's not what we're used to. We're used to leading with the masculine,
Yeah.
or doing actions with our masculine, and now we're being called to do action from the feminine, I think. And so it feels odd, I think. To me, it does, but I can feel it happening, because I'll be
Mm.
presented with something. And then if I relax into it,
Yeah,
that's when it kind of, I'm in the flow of it more. It's more about
absolutely.
being
Yeah.
in the flow, right?
And
Than
letting
like
it carry
full
you.
on,
Yeah.
we're resting and we're saving ourselves for something that's going
Hmm.
to happen. This is it. It's happening.
Sure, sure, sure,
It's
sure.
just
Yeah.
happening in this way that feels weird to us, right?
That's true. And
So
we're so
that's
used
kind
to
of what I've
that
been feeling, is like,
masculine energy, like has
yeah.
been a lot of jump before we think, right? Jump, do something before we actually
Mhm.
think about it or feel into it. Yeah. And that'll change
Mm.
too. That'll shift too, and
Yeah.
it'll all be they'll come together as one energy. Yeah, I agree. You're right. I think it just is it's an odd because it's, more than ever. We've been told to hibernate and to hermit for how many years now? Like, I don't know about you, but I'm getting pretty tired of it. And more than ever, now we're like, every time my guides are like, just rest, I'm like, fa, like, I don't want to rest anymore. So we're still in this kind of flowy, like, and that's what it is. I think you're absolutely right. We're being asked to, hey, feel that something is actually happening, idiot. And we're like, and I've been more like
Mhm.
chomping at the bit to get going, when you're right, it's happening. It's just not going to be some
Mhm.
drastic from one minute to the next kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then so your body kind of is like forcing you, your, either your body or your mind or your circumstances or whatever, whatever, in whatever way your guidance is
Yeah.
showing you that you need to work from the feminine. It's either saying rest, that's the start of your feminine energy, right? Go within, rest yourself, listen, receive. There
Receiving
is
is a big
so
one. Yeah.
much love coming in right now from, I mean, talk about Valentine's Day, like, being, it's so incredible that Valentine's Day is this center pivotal point of the full moon of February, and this like midpoint of this portal,
Yeah.
because the portal,
Yeah,
I
till the
have been
22nd.
feeling
Yeah.
so much.
Holy
Mm.
crap, I forgot about that lovely portal from the 2nd to the 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
True.
Like, every light language I do, it's just like love, 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 love.
Yeah.
Like, there's really no other messages except for just like
Yeah.
we're
and it's
pouring love onto your planet
and
right
it's like
now. Open
maternal.
up and receive
It's
it,
nurturing because Bianca and I have talked about this a
Yes.
few times already this month. Is Mother Mary is really strong right now. She's a strong
Mhm.
guide for
Mhm.
everybody. She's a strong presence right now, whether you're, feeling her specifically or not. She's just part of this huge feminine, nurturing, loving, because that's what she gave me when I was a child was, I was lacking maternal nurturing. And I would have
Right.
visions of her and she came in with that and she filled me with that so that I wouldn't feel that until later, when you have to heal kind of relationships, or you don't have to, but you know what I mean? I've healed that relationship now with my mom, but at the
Right.
time, I was not getting anything from her when I was little. And so, yeah, Mary's coming in strong, I think, kind of blanketing everybody with this beautiful, nurturing, mothering energy. Like everybody's like that, like it's the, kiss the boo boo, it's going to be okay kind of energy. And we're just like, thank you.
Right. Yeah.
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 But I love
Yeah.
that,
And
that
for
we're
me,
still
it's Kuan
moving.
Yin.
Yeah, same
And so
soul, right?
that's
Same soul.
I feel Kuan Yin, yeah, all the time with me. And it's so weird because, strangely in California, our cherry blossoms have started to break. And
Is that early?
so you can see everywhere. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so early. But it's everywhere. And so it's this energy of like whenever I see the cherry blossoms, all I think of is Kuan Yin. Like that's
Oh,
to me
yeah.
the representation of her. Yeah. And so, and I don't know, I've been seeing them like everywhere. And I'm like, oh, you're early, but I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, like
You're
Gaia
so
knows.
beautiful.
Gaia knows what to do. Yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely showing us in so many ways that, that she's not giving up, that
Right.
she is, here to move us into this other dimension. And
Yeah.
she's here to support
And she's
us
like
to
great,
do that.
they're both that energy together. They're like cradling us and gently bringing us into
Yeah.
it because we are going to be, kind of then. I just heard the phrase thrown to the wolves a little bit. It might feel like that. Then we're going to be like thrown, back in where we're going to be asked to really step out of our comfort zones and start to do the work, maybe the I mean, we've always been doing the work, right? We always will be, but the kind of, what we've been waiting for, as far as our 3D understanding of what we're doing here, right? Like, okay, we're here to, like, I'm waiting, right? And we're all waiting for clients, for people who are awakening
Right.
to start finding us.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what I see
Hmm.
happening the second half of 2022. God, I hope I'm right. Who knows? Like we were talking about this the other day, the timeline wise, I was seeing for forever those three timelines. One was really dark. That one fell away, but the other two, both good, but one was a bit slower path. And the other one, we would have been through this already, right? So what I saw was that rather than us choosing one, humanity chose to merge the two so that it wouldn't be as bad
Mm.
as the other one, which wasn't bad necessarily, but I do firmly believe, because my guides keep showing me this, Michael keeps showing me this, if we had chosen that one outright, it would have involved the dark forces, whoever they are, whatever the them, right, that we've labeled, to try to do the fake alien invasion. And that would have
Mm.
happened. Now, we were kind of talking about this the other day. It's like they might try it and everybody will just laugh. Or it'll be one of those immediate backfires where they're like, I knew it, aliens exist. And you've been lying about it for all this time, right? It's going to be kind of a grand disclosure kind of thing. And, everything, I forget who who I was talking to, but, they said, everything they do now, right? Everything they do now is helping us. They don't even know it. They don't even realize it.
Right. Well, because it's the dying flame of
Right.
it, right? It's the last
And
grasp.
Gaia's taken over.
This scheduled war, we're supposed to be going to
Hmm.
war
Oh, is
tomorrow.
that the
It's been
Ukraine
scheduled.
thing or whatever? Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. And I keep thinking, I mean, this isn't like, I don't know where this is coming from, if it's probably my mind and not my heart, but it's like that would be another opportunity for, like, if they are going, because why was our benevolent alien presence, increased in the 40s when these bombs were
Yep.
invented, right? Is because they came in and they said, okay, guys, like, here we are, we exist.
Yeah.
We will just tell, we'll just tell the presidents and the, whoever's in the military, whatever, but here we are and we are watching you, and please don't blow your planet up. And now is a really real chance of, like, some giant weapon of, weapon of mass destruction that both of us have, has a real chance of being, set off, and or
so it's definitely another kind of
the Galactic Federation stepping in, like, for real, in front of everyone and being like, we're the Galactic Federation, don't kill, you're we exist, and here we are, and this is, and we will help you move into this
absolutely,
new,
that's very possible. Very possible. And so many of the presidents, the reason they, like, Eisenhower, there are so many presidents who were offed because they wanted to tell everybody. They wanted to tell everybody what was really going on. But yeah, and my understanding too, and of course it's whatever resonates, but my understanding too is they actually came down and said, we will not allow you to nuke the planet. We will not allow you to set off a nuclear weapon. But they couldn't interfere any other way. But the reason they can interfere in that is because that affects the entire universe. That energy. Yeah, because that's what happened. They say the asteroid belt used to be Tiamat, and that was a nuclear war between, I forget, I want to say it was Venus and Jupiter or whatever, and it destroyed Tiamat. And there are, nuclear scars, like, on those planets that they know were from nuclear blasts. And so and it affected the entire universe in a negative way. And so they will not allow us to do it. They will, you're right. They'll come in and say, nope. And, that whole thing, do you remember my husband was he was a missileer, a missile launch officer in the Air Force before he became a pilot. And do you remember back in the 80s when they actually, that test they were doing actually was mysteriously shut down, the whole country. All of a sudden, all of the facilities shut down, and they have never been able to explain it. So I think that they facilitated that for sure. Yeah. And they might have to step in. There's also the White Brotherhood. There's all these, entities that might show themselves. I think that's a group that's separate from the Galactic Federation. Because, there's also some question about they're like anything, like because there are humans involved in the Galactic Federation, I think there are good and bad. I don't think it's necessarily a complete entity of light either. But them coming in definitely would be a pivotal point in the awakening, because people will be like, okay, yep, here they are. There's praying mantis people, and there's all these different aliens. Yeah, so I think it's going to be definitely more in the form of just them going stop versus them trying to make us think they're attacking, right? And I think, like I said, I think there will be some small thing where they'll be like, oh, they're here, they're going to take her, they're going to be getting to people, the doomsdayers, they're going to take over the world, and it's just like V, and it's just like, right, it's just like all the sci-fi movies, don't believe it, blah blah blah, and nobody's going to buy it. I think we're too far down the road. Yeah, I agree.
We are.
Yeah, damn, there's a lot going on right now.
There is. Yeah. And the Three Sisters in Oregon may explode. These three volcanoes in Oregon, like, they've got a huge, they got a huge bubble.
Gaia may need to release something.
They might explode.
All three of
So
them.
I know I'm really feeling like I'm close to that, so I'm kind of feeling that energy. I wonder if Lori is. I haven't actually spoken to her about it, but she's up there, and it's right there. There's like these huge magma bubbles have, like, erupted on the surface and moved the actual surface of some of of the land, like kind of bubbling up the land and stuff like that. It's crazy. So it's really interesting.
Gaia's going to move heaven and earth. There's a reason, right? Like, she's going to move what she needs to move physically and otherwise to help us as much as she can. So I don't know what would be the
Yeah.
good of that, I guess, would be the question if we care to figure it out, right? Sometimes we just have to go, okay, you know best, mom.
Yeah, I think a lot of the natural cleansing that she's going to need to do over the next, I want to say like up until
Yep,
like 2025 is is just pent up energy inside that needs to be released in order for us to feel the new energy that's
sure.
coming in from
The
Sirius,
sun. Yeah.
from, the galactic center, and because we're in position to feel those things, but we're full of
Right.
negative
As
energy.
much as we've
She
pushed out.
can't
Yeah.
only she's got to
Yeah.
cycle. Yeah, she's got to cycle things out. So regardless of whether it's, it is going to destroy human lives, but as we know, this that we never die. We
Right.
are
And they
light
all chose to
beings.
be in
So,
that.
you know, and they
Yep.
chose to be in
Agreed.
that
And
path.
as long as
Yes.
we live on a
So,
physical plane with, if volcanoes are here, they're going to erupt once in a while. My thing has always been don't live. What is wrong? Like I have this thing about, and I hope I don't offend anybody, but I have this thing about New Orleans. Why are they living below sea level and then they're shocked when the city floods? Every time. It is hilarious. Then what do they do? And I get it. It's their home. I get it. I do totally get that. They rebuild every time. I'm like, oh my God, let it go, people, because it's just ridiculous. So that's kind of my thing. I'm sure that's judgmental. And I apologize if that offends anybody, but it's just so silly. After a while, you're like, wait a minute, maybe we should move from the base of this volcano. Maybe losing
right.
entire
Yeah.
generations isn't worth it. I mean, it comes to a point where we have to be evolved enough. Got to let go of the homeland too, sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. But sometimes people feel like
That's
that's
true.
where they should be. So, and that's another thing. Maybe they're anchoring, maybe their call to be that is that they're anchoring that energy, that needs to be at that particular, because New Orleans has got to be a
Yeah,
vortex
yeah, for
of
sure.
some sort because of all of the emotions that, and just the energy that you
Yeah.
feel
Well,
when
look
you
at
go
the
there.
what
Like,
was birthed
oh
there,
my
like
God, it is insane.
jazz, right? Jazz, the
Right.
entire genre of music
Yeah.
that is such an emotional form of music. Like it's the most emotional in my opinion. Yeah, so I agree. It's got to be some kind of something there.
Yeah.
That's true. That was my 3D
Yeah.
like
And,
ego,
and dark.
going, could just move, people. Stop
Just
bitching about,
move.
oh my
Yeah.
God, we flooded again. What? Shocker. That shocks me.
I would enjoy it if somebody actually was like, I know that this place floods, but
Sure,
I
yep.
feel drawn to be here,
That
and
is
this
the
is my life, and I
only
choose to do it.
excuse
But
I
if
will
that's not
accept.
acceptable,
That's the only reason that will shut me up. Oh, okay. Well, you feel pulled.
it's not acceptable for people to be like, I feel this energy here, and I just love it or whatever. Like then people are like, you're
Yeah.
crazy, So we just have to we are continuing to break down these societal, you know, illusions of who and what we're supposed to be and what we're supposed to
Yeah.
think and what we're supposed to
Well, we just
feel,
need a,
and it's a
yeah.
continual
We need like a to
process.
build the new
Yeah.
Atlantis down there,
So,
maybe. You know what I mean? Like anchor it deep and, put it
yeah.
on some really strong
Yeah.
stilts. Because it's, it's the and it's the loss of life over and over and over again that I guess gets to me. Then I'm like, oh, just move. Like, stop. But again,
Right.
that's their choice. So whatever. And it's got to be, I always think too, the people who are really just anchored there for whatever reason, they've got to be soul family, star family, and maybe they're from a water planet
Yeah.
or maybe
Yeah,
they're
they
from,
must,
yeah.
right? They all have this.
So there's definitely something
Mhm.
there.
Mhm.
Yeah. Or
That
maybe
makes
they're even
sense.
from an underwater planet, right? That it doesn't feel right to live anywhere that
Yeah.
doesn't flood.
Because I've known several people I've known several people who have lived in New Orleans and then
Yeah,
they can't live there. Like they'll move there thinking, thinking that it's for them, and then they'll realize that it's not because it's
it is
just so
really a whole different
uniquely,
world down there. Yeah.
just its
Yeah,
own
I don't know how we got
entity.
on that
So
topic. But
yeah,
anyway, yeah.
yeah, I
So
did.
who knows? Who knows what's good?
I don't
We've
either.
lived in fear. It's funny, we've lived in fear for decades now, about, and you'll laugh at this too, or the, California falling into the ocean, right? Because of the tectonic plate movements and everything. And I remember, do you guys remember Sylvia Browne, the psychic? I'm sure you do. I read a lot of her
Yeah.
books. And I have a friend who's there in California. And before she died, she went and saw her at a book signing and had a book signed for me, which was really sweet of her. But anyway, I loved Sylvia. And Sylvia lived in California. And she said, I do not see California ever falling into the ocean. Why would I live here if I did? And so she's like,
Right. Yeah.
I'm Californian. Why are you asking me? But she, what she said, interestingly enough, is she said, if anything, Florida's going to fall into the ocean. Of course, everybody was like, what? And I'm like,
Ah,
can we just be like, okay, so if we have a heads up, that'd be great. But Florida falls into the ocean, and
but we have a heads up. What's so funny is that we,
yeah,
climatologists and like actually like, meteorologists, climatologists are saying like the ice caps are melting
yep,
and the
and that's a
ocean is
real
going to
thing, people.
rise by 20 feet. It just flat out is going to. Yeah. And it's already happening in places like
Yeah. And they
Bangladesh
are going to
and
be forced to
Venice
move,
and,
whole groups of people, large numbers of people.
yeah. Yeah, the earth is shifting. I'm
Yes,
really like, because I've been deep
you have,
diving
you
into
have.
these grid lines and dragon lines and stuff. And it really is, it's our time. There is no, whether you believe it or not,
Right. Yep.
it
You don't
doesn't
have to
care
believe it for it
at
to
this
be
point,
happening.
whether
Yeah.
humans believe or not, because it is
Agreed.
happening right now and it will
And
continue
you
to
can
happen.
turn a blind eye as
So,
long as you
yeah.
want.
So
It's still going to happen.
yeah, yep. And you can live in
Yeah,
denial and you can fight it and
absolutely.
you can die fighting it and you will
Yep.
still be
And
alive because you are a light being
sure,
and you can choose to come back here.
got the shit figured out and come back and
But yeah.
easier life, or yeah. Yeah. And when they cross over to the other side, they'll be like, I did it. I did exactly what I went there to do, and I'm really proud of myself. Because that's what all of us should be doing, right? When we cross over. It's like, oh, I did everything that I needed to do. I planted seeds, I whatever, triggered people, whatever. Everyone is doing exactly what they're meant to be doing. But I feel Gaia too, like, and I know you're feeling this too, Eartha, is she is stronger than ever before. And she is only getting stronger. She is so like, when I first
Hmm.
started on my journey, I kind of feel like, well, we are all, I think all women especially are divine feminine, I should say, whatever the packaging, right? Divine feminine. I think we're all really linked to Gaia. And I feel like, and then I have a friend, Laura Eisenhower, talks about Gaia, at great length. Like she's very connected, and she said that Gaia, the soul, actually had to leave for a while when we were going through the wars, and in talking about the world wars, right? But she actually had to leave because she could not. She was
Hmm.
afraid that she would basically be snuffed out by the negative energy here, and so she left to stay. To go somewhere and get kind of rejuvenated, and then has only returned. This is according to Laura. It doesn't have to resonate with everybody, right? But has since returned just the last few years, came
Hmm.
back. I think I want to say 3 years ago, three, maybe close to 4 years ago, had returned full force, right?
Hmm.
Well, then coming back in, right? She had all just like us coming back into a human life again. It's like all of a sudden we feel the limitations, we feel the restrictions, and we the muscle memory of past lives and all that jazz. So she had to heal all that, and she's still, like you said, but I do feel like now she's easing back into her
Hmm.
normal cycle of releasing, of integrating, of, just she's just such a solid presence right now. So I feel like she's really, like, I definitely agree with the nurturing, loving energy right now. We're being bombarded with it. And again, you can ignore that too. You're still
Yeah.
loved. You're still cherished beyond belief, whether you feel it or
Right.
not. So I plan on tuning into Mary and Gaia.
Mm-hmm.
Kuan Yin maybe too. I love that. Same soul. If anybody listening doesn't know, Kuan Yin and Mother Mary, same soul. Kuan Yin is just a much more ancient life that she lived.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she just chooses those. Some souls, she was so high up, she couldn't come and just live a normal life. She had to be a change maker every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, whew, big. It's just such huge, beautiful stuff happening right now, and it's hard. The other day, I just kind of felt. I wish I could feel it all the time, but I just kind of felt this rush of, oh, I just feel so good and so positive about everything that's going on. And my current situation isn't necessarily fabulous, but I know that it's going to be okay. I know that
Mm-hmm.
because the synchronicities. I don't know about you guys, but the synchronicities are off the charts with the numbers and the just hearing the same word throughout the day
Yeah.
or whatever, off the charts. Like my head is spinning. There's so many. So, and that is simply, you don't have to figure out each one, right? That's simply a message that you're doing it, that you're on the right track. Keep going. So every
Right.
time I doubt myself now, I'm like, the minute I
Yeah.
doubt comes in, I'll
Yep.
see 1111 or I'll see, something, and I'm like, oh, all right, I'm doing it, I
Mm-hmm.
guess.
I've been seeing a lot of
Perfect.
sequentials, like 1, 2, 3, 4, or one two,
Mm.
yeah, 1, 2, 3. I see that all
Forward
the time,
movement.
or or 2, 3, 4, or whatever. Like the
Yeah.
moving
Yep, yep,
forward,
yep.
moving forward. Yeah, you're moving forward.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I wouldn't be
So
surprised if everybody, is
those are
experiencing that. And
those
I
are
think
good
that's going to
too.
be part of some people's awakenings too. Like they're going to start to wonder, why do I keep seeing numbers, or why is this happening and that happening?
Mm. Yeah, and if you're listening to this and you're not feeling these things, then all you have to do is sit for a minute and open yourself up
Right, right.
and just allow yourself to feel it. Because what you're doing, if you're feeling frustrated and you're feeling blocked, um then this is to let go of that, to just for a minute, just for a day, pick one day, pick yesterday, pick Valentine's Day, or pick tomorrow, or pick whenever you want, and just give yourself permission to not be frustrated, to not
Right.
be to just to feel what it feels like to be completely loved. Just try to practice it,
Yeah.
because it's here. It's really, it is. And you'll feel it right away
And
as soon
sometimes you
as
have
you
to sit in the
just
muck before you can, like, sometimes the muck has to float through first, but just let it.
right.
Like we
Yeah,
try to
just
block it.
just
We have such a self-worth issue as human beings. Like we don't think we
mhm.
deserve this divine love. And religion has helped a lot with that. Dogma has helped a lot with that, making us feel less than, right? Like, oh, we have to do all these things to sacrifice because we're not good enough. And it's a bunch of bunk, you guys. We were born good enough. There is never a microsecond in our lives that we're not good enough, no matter what path you chose. You could be a murderer in this life, and you are cherished every second of every day, and you are worthy of everything, beautiful and divine. But it's a lot of darkness we're wading through. But yeah, you can, and I think it's okay too, don't you think, Eartha, to, if you feel that coming in and you want to set it aside, let that love come in. You can deal with that shit
Right.
later. Deal
Yeah,
with the darkness
exact.
later.
That's yeah. I think that's kind of what I was trying to say is,
Yeah,
yeah,
there
like
you
your
okay.
your shit is going to be there. Like,
Right.
deal with,
It's not
yeah,
going
but
anywhere.
but feel the love, because then it gives you like a spark to work towards it. You grab that love and you feel it, and then feel that, just choose to feel that, no matter what shit you're going through.
Exactly.
If once you feel it once, you're hooked.
Yeah.
You can reach it at any time. It is always
Yeah.
available.
And that's why people,
So
and I know I dogma, pun intended. I know I talk about that, but honestly, if you feel pulled, like I'm no kidding. I love churches, first of all. I love cathedrals. I love old churches. I actually the other day was thinking about just randomly going into a church to connect with Yeshua. And that's
yeah.
absolutely okay. Like that, there's, there's not, I think I don't know if Bianca was having internet issues, but we lost her.
Mm.
Anyway, but yeah, I think
Oh.
that's okay. I think wherever you like, even with all the stuff coming out, and even if you're feeling like, if you're in, where I'm at, where I'm like, well, religion was created to keep us down and was created to keep us in
Mhm.
fear. But something
Mhm.
about churches, even after everything I've been through, I'm a recovering Catholic, right? Um, I
Yeah.
still love churches. And I've been in churches in Europe, in France, in Germany that have really, really massive, expansive, dark energy. And I still love them. There's
Mhm.
something about
Mhm.
that, that ancient energy. Like I can still feel Yeshua and Mary in there and Mother Mary, and all this other energy. And so if that pulls you, go to church, but don't don't be taken in by the dogma. Like I wouldn't recommend going to mass. Just go when nobody's there
Right. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
find that love. Let Yeshua love on you. Sit in front of a statue of the Virgin Mary and let her fill you with that maternal nurturing love. It's what she did for me as a child. And I saw her exactly how the
Right.
Catholics, depict her wrapped in a powdery blue fabric, which, people get upset. Oh, that color is disempowering. You know what? Whatever. That's a belief. They may have done that
Mhm.
intentionally to
Mhm.
disempower her, but that's not what I see. So it's
Right.
all
Mhm.
perspective. It really is. What do you
Yeah.
think? What's your take on? Is there any maybe intention that you're planning on having for the full moon, or because I know full moons are for releasing, right? Like we set intentions and we release things in the full moon, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
What
Yep.
What do you
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
is a
We
good
do.
like?
We harvest.
Yeah, yeah, okay, cool, yeah. So what would
Mhm.
you say is a good
I always
intention?
think of it as
Yeah,
harvesting.
that's a
Yeah.
good way to think about it.
I think that what we were saying is a good intention for the use the courage of Leo,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? This is the Leo moon, so use the courage of Leo to courageously believe in yourself.
Absolutely.
Courageously release, choose to feel good about yourself no matter what society says that you
Yeah.
should feel like.
Yep.
If you are poor and you've got, you're on your last dollar, or you are fighting with someone at work, or you lost your job, or any excuse that society tells you why you should
Right.
not
You
be
should feel
happy,
bad. Yeah.
buck the
Yeah.
system. Buck the
And
system.
what do you have to lose?
You're overweight. Who
Right.
cares? You're beautiful. Somebody loves
Exactly.
you. You're too old. You're broken. You broke your leg. You broke,
Yeah.
whatever it is,
Or you
health
have a limp,
or
or
wealth
you're
or,
missing a leg or anything.
yeah.
We love every single one of you. I don't care. I always tell people I don't care if you're black, white, purple, polka dot, have four limbs or not. It just doesn't matter anymore. We're done.
The intention to love
Yeah.
yourself. Set the intention to be okay with where you
Yeah.
are, and have the courage to do so, because it does take courage. It does take it.
Absolutely. And Leo is
I
a perfect
mean,
symbol of that,
it's
of being brave. Just and you're going to be
right.
afraid. That's what
Yeah.
bravery is. Like people's like, well, I can't be brave. I'm too scared. That's what bravery is. I think bravery without fear is just stupidity. It's just bravado, right? It's just arrogance. That it's like,
Oh,
oh,
right.
I'm just going to jump off this cliff
Yeah.
because I'm pretty sure I'll
Yep.
be okay. There's a rope. There's a rope right there.
Yeah.
So, be afraid. It's okay to be afraid, but barrel
Yeah.
in anyway. And
But do it
exactly.
anyway.
And I
Yeah.
think too,
Yeah.
if you can tap into even a little bit of that self-love, that's what creates a doorway for this divine love to come in. This Yeshua, Mary Magdalene, whatever, God, source, the universe, whatever you want to call it. And of course it's always in there, but sometimes we need these analogies, right? To crack open a little bit and let it in, for God's
Yeah.
sake.
Yeah.
Literally, for
Yeah.
God's sake.
Yep. Feel it.
Yeah. You
For
are
God's sake.
worthy.
For
Right?
our sake.
Yeah.
For Gaia's sake.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm definitely feeling a lot of big shifting, just kind of all over and interesting in interesting areas too. It's like, okay, like, Oh, that's shifting now. Okay. And like you were saying too, all this evidence of Gaia shifting, and now we may even have, I think you're right. I think if it escalates to the point with the Ukraine thing, they have to, because they will not allow us to detonate nuclear bombs because it affects them. It
No.
affects the
Yeah.
entire universe.
Yep.
So they
Yeah.
will stop it. And honestly, at this point, the only
Yes,
way is
they
to
will.
reveal themselves. Like even if they
Mm-hmm.
try to,
Mm-hmm.
like, even if they try to hide it of, their origin or whatever, I think more people are going to be, I have people in my life who've made fun of me my whole life for believing in aliens. And it just, I have never been able to wrap my head around them not existing. It makes zero sense to me. And so I'm curious how
Yeah.
these people are
Yeah.
going to react, right? Like, my own sister has had a lot of fun, making fun of me about aliens and such, and claims there's zero evidence, and so it'll be interesting to me. And I'm not saying
So,
that I'm
yeah.
like going to revel in it, but I might revel in it a little bit.
That, yeah. The evidence is that the universe is
Is
too big
unlimited.
for us to be the
Like,
only
come on.
things
Well,
here.
they say they're going to try and,
That is the
yeah, I
clearest
mean,
evidence.
talk about arrogance. That's my thing. Talk about arrogance to
Yeah.
think that you're it. This tiny little planet. We are a small planet compared to these other planets. We're very small. But it's just it's going to be an
Yeah.
interesting year for sure. Yeah, I totally forgot about that portal. We are right smack in the middle of that damn thing.
We are.
So,
Yeah.
well, we'll do
Yep.
another one.
And I've been having the worst communication with my light languages, but I'm still trying to plow
Yeah.
through and get one a
Good.
day.
Yeah. Well,
So
I mean,
I
that's how you
gotta get
barrel
more
through the
out. But
muck.
yeah, so if anyone's listening and wants to hear light language for self-love, open yourself to these
Yeah.
energies, then check
Please
out
tell
my
Freda.
channel, my YouTube channel, Friendly
Yes, and it's
Neighborhood
beautiful.
Goddess.
And you can seriously like close your eyes and just pick one, and it'll be perfect, whatever light language you need in that moment.
Right.
So, and yeah, I was going to say too, I was just realizing too, if you can make it next week, it'll be the 22nd when we're doing the next one of these.
That will
That'll
be
be
the,
big
yeah,
energy.
we should do a journey.
Absolutely.
Let's do a
That's a
journey
great
for
idea.
everyone.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
really good idea. Cool. Just
Awesome.
perfect timing.
I love it when you
Oh, thank
lead
you.
journeys.
Well,
They're amazing.
you'll have to channel too. Channel some light. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, that'll
definitely.
be good. I'll tell Bianca. I think we lost her. Cool.
Okay.
Well, let's wrap it
I
up.
know. So, okay.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
go see my
So,
kid, check on my other
yay.
kids. I have a lot of kids
Awesome.
everywhere. But thank you everybody for joining us. I'll put this up on the YouTube channel. I love you, Eartha. It was great to talk to you.
Yeah, you as well.
I
Sending you so much
know.
love here from the
Yeah,
West
I'm as
Coast.
far away from
Go
you as I
go
can
see the
get.
Atlantic
We
for
are
me.
going to. Yeah. We're planning on it. We may even see the Gulf of Mexico because we might go down to Pensacola. So
Hey, yeah. Say hi to those lovely
I
bodies of
absolutely
water
will.
for me.
All right. I love you, girl. I will talk to you soon.
Okay. All right.
Bye
Love you too.
bye.
All right. Bye.